Uh-oh, something went wrong with Instagram. See both sides like Chanel. See both sides. My pockets now. They can't hold my seven. They're my visa. I am a famous. I got no balance. All in a bunch of $1,000 gift card. I'm my baby boy. Everybody in the house. I got no money, and it's all cash. I got no balance, and they all collapse. Come on, I roll it up, $1,000 Delta gift card. You can cut it, Natalie. Yes, yes, yes. I mean, my baby boy. My- Y'all, first of all, a bitch got the background set up. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? I said, I wanted to look sexy. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. I was like, I don't just want any old kind of like, y'all, we wanted to look what? Sexy. I've been playing with these lights and got my camera back set up. I want it to be beautiful. And it's not just about like an aesthetic for other people. When I was setting this up, when I spent over 2 hours researching the proper camera and the right lighting and spending the money and invested in it, what I did was I told myself, you're worth it. And what you deliver is worth it, right? Like a lot of times we're looking for other people, oh, how much you want to pay me? Or how much does it cost? Oh, how much you want to pay me? We say stupid shit like that. Like, what? You let somebody else determine what you're worth? I want to feel like I'm bringing $1 million worth of game every time I step in this hole. And that is also how I set up, right? If I thought that I was doing some bullshit, then it's like, you know what? Just slap two, I want to say two pennies and two asses at the same time. Slap two asses together. Slap two pennies together and make it happen. Not to say that if you don't have the resources or if you don't have the eye for those sort of things, but I just want to say showing up and like preparing yourself helps you show up as your best self. You know, I used to like do things, you guys, like not burn my candles because there was nobody else here but me, or not put on the good shea butter because I was the only person touching on my skin, and you're like saving it for somebody worthwhile. Do you know the message that that sends to you? That sends you a message that you're not worthwhile. Huh? But I'm worth Come on. Come on. Like you only clean up when company is coming over. All of these things continue to send signals to ourselves that we don't believe that we're worth it. You are enough for the good shit. Who are you trying to impress? Bitch, myself? First of all, I'm gonna be so annoying because this bench that I'm sitting on, it's really just giving me lean back. So if I just do this every 5 minutes, just if I do that, I just need y'all patience, okay? God is not through with me yet. But we're talking about like today is a follow-up on manipulation. For those of you who've been through it all before or who were missing on Tuesday, we really went through, and it was you missed it. You missed it, K Money. It was a like damn near 3 hour masterclass. I had 56 slides, and I did not let the fuck up teaching you guys about every form of manipulation, every reason why you may be settling for manipulation. And we're talking about now how to backtrack out of it. Now, you will not get the whole 3 hours again, but we do have the team chopping up some of those key moments, some of those key points, and going back in there. I highly suggest you tiptoe, because even as we were reflecting on it as a team, they were like, and when you said that, I said, oh shit, I said that. I said that. So if I'm surprised and can barely remember all of the gems I dropped, y'all are not, there's no way that y'all were able to process all of that information. When you get the opportunity, you do need to go back. But this idea of manipulation, and even talking about when we don't light the candles because we're the only person in the house, or we only deep clean because and I love that Andre 3000 line. He's like, you know, you got company coming over, so you scrub extra hard. And those are ways that we manipulate ourselves to downplay ourselves. Those are ways that we manipulate ourselves to you know, I see this thing on social media right now where they're like, I've been knowing my worth all summer. Now I'm having a flash sale. I'm like, I ain't never seen a flash sale at Chanel. So you never thought you was worth it. If you believe that you're worth it, you've been lying and manipulating yourself, and then you get exhausted, and now you got a flash sale, because when you actually know your worth, that shit never goes on sale. It doesn't, because you're just waiting for the right buyer. So we manipulate ourselves into believing that we have a higher sense of self-worth than we actually do. Ouch. And then we counteract and manipulate ourselves again when we realize that, damn, you inflated them prices, and you know what I'm saying? Just one fuck won't hurt. It's a retrograde. Bothering that ex one time ain't gonna really kill you. And because we don't stand in our truth, every direction that we turn into, we end up manipulating ourselves to overvalue or undervalue or hold strong boundaries or not have enough. When do we just stop the bullshit with ourselves and find our happy medium? So on Tuesday, I sent y'all on y'all way. And go ahead and make sure you guys put up your avatar names, because we are live. And a lot of this stuff is being recorded. And I just want to make sure that your identity is protected in the future, right? We don't want bitches 2 years from now hearing about the hurt that you got over today, because I'm declaring we're going to get over a lot of that shit today. So change your name to a name that you want me to call you. It can be we call it the avatar names, but it can be an affirmation, or it could be your club name. It could be your old stripper name. Girl, I don't care. I don't care. K Money, you stuck with the one I gave you. I like it. I like it. So it got a little, I mean, because, you know, K's is like thousands, you know, so it's like K, like thousands upon thousands upon thousands. Like K Money, and your last name is Abundance. K Money and your last name is Abundance. I got you. So what I had asked the current cohort to do, I said, go and take these 3 quizzes. Am I a sucker magnet? Because this is going to teach you how likely you are to be attractive to motherfuckers who want to manipulate you. I had you take, I ain't no weak bitch, but I got weaknesses. And it's showing you, where the first one shows you how susceptible you are. The I ain't no weak bitch, but I got weaknesses taught you what areas you are most likely to be manipulated in, right? And what we called in our session was, these are the neon come fuck me ... over signs. Oh, look, I got neon lights behind me. You see, mine is blank. You see that? They blank, bitch. Ain't no neon come fuck me over. It's just blank. It's just neon signs. It's just come hither. All right, all right. If it was a dry erase board, okay? The way I used to like to get manipulated, dry erase board, skirt, erase that shit. It's over. But we went through to identify that. And then after you identified those 2 things, I know a lot of times, especially when we're new to try to figure out manipulation and all of that shit, we're like, okay, this is what happened. Am I tripping? Am I tripping? And so then the final quiz was to take specific instances where you're not sure if you were the manipulated or the manipulator, if it was a no fault situation, but you literally could plug in some information, and it's almost like an interactive journal that allows you to see who the fuck was doing what. So I asked you guys to run through those three and come back and also to witness interactions in the world on TV, with your pets, with your friends, your family, your coworker, and start to identify some of the manipulation that takes place in our world. Because as we learned, it is inevitable, right? Cats do it, babies do it, cars do it, right? Even our car manipulates us to put our seatbelt on. You don't put your seatbelt on and it's ding, ding, ding. And then girl, my car will turn down the music after a while. If it's dinging and I don't turn the music and I don't put my seatbelt on, it'll even turn the music down. That is manipulation at its finest, because bitch, I said I heard you. But you just persistent. So a lot to unpack. What's been coming up for you guys after the quiz, after those life evaluations over these last couple of days? Mm, yeah. I mean, and I say this to you guys all the time, and it doesn't matter how many times I say it, I don't think I say it enough. Moving slower in the wrong direction is still moving in the right direction. And so if you were in a 9-year relationship and you gave that man 2 kids, and then you finally had enough and you recognize, I don't want to do this, I'm being manipulated, I'm being abused, and you get out of it. Congratulations. And so maybe the next relationship, it doesn't last 9 years. It doesn't go into 2 children. You don't go get married, but you guys made it for 3 years. It's very normal for you to be hard on yourself. Like, how did I get manipulated again? But you're not seeing that they didn't get 9 years and 2 kids out of you before you woke up to who the fuck you are and that this wasn't working for you. And so maybe the next time it's 16 months, and the next time it's 3 dates, and the next time it's that you leave them exactly where they got you fucked up at the first time. But this expectation that you go from somebody who is a people pleaser, someone who has all of these traumas and unmet needs and desires that allow us to be in a space of being so easily manipulated, and then you think that, like, what? Like, I'm gonna give you some game and you're like, never again. No, it absolutely happens to the best of us. And maybe one day you'll get to the point where you're recognizing it as it's happening. And even then, you may not do shit about it. Right? You may, like, I know it's happened to me before where something's happening and I'm like, be cool, bitch, be cool. Be cool, bitch, be cool. It's cool, it's cool. I just think it's funny how. Because that's still moving in the right direction. That acknowledgement of, I'm getting pissed off right now. And maybe the next time it's, this could piss me off. And this is a script and this is a trigger. And I'm not reacting. Because that's actually what mindfulness is. Mindfulness is putting as much space in between the action of something happening and your reaction to it. Mindfulness is all of the space between what happens and when you react. Notice I didn't say how you react. Because there are times where I had a lot of mindfulness where I'm like, oh, okay, they trying to play me and this is their childhood trauma and this is what's happening and I caught it on early, but I'm still about to go off on their motherfucking ass. But instead of calling in, I'll wait for them to call me. Mindfulness. Did not say I behave any differently. I'm not saying don't slap the bitch. I'm just saying understand why you're doing it, understand the consequences of your actions so that you can then do things with cognizance. So that then you are not controlled by what other people are doing. So then you are now free from manipulation, mindfulness. Because the manipulation is how they get us to react by our automatic triggering and our systems and the programming we have in our mind. If somebody can do something and get you to respond before you can even think about the response, that's your puppeteer. They're running you. And remember, the whole point of this program, or one of the points of this program, is for you to learn yourself because you don't interact with you very much. So that baby daddy who you were with for 9 years, that boss that you've been working for 5 years, they've actually seen you more than you've seen yourself. So if you think they don't know your triggers, if you think they don't know how to get at you, if you think they don't know how to manipulate you, how to piss you off, how to push your buttons, and if you don't think they utilize them, people know. They know what name to call you to get you to calm down. They know what name to call you to get you to be pissed off. They know what to accuse you of to get you off track. But you don't know those things about you because you don't journal, you don't study yourself. The whole point of mindfulness is to create more space between what happens, the action of a life, and how we react to it. Because the shorter the gap, the more susceptible we are to being manipulated. But remember what I said in the beginning, moving slower in the wrong direction is still moving in the right direction. You hear me? The one, not the two with the three or the four. Miss Mamas. So, and I want you to really receive this. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. What else have you guys been noticing? Oh, I see Divine Goddess. We had a nice, long, deep chat. Divine Goddess. What's happened since Tuesday? Wait, can you step into the mic? Because if you're gonna cuss me out, I'd like to really hear it good. I can barely hear you. Okay, so you cussing me out. I got that part. What I do wrong or right? Because I probably did something right. Mm, mm-hmm. Ooh, yeah. Mm, mm, mm. The beautiful. Oh, go say. Yeah. I love you. Yeah, and I'm okay with you being mad at me. That's okay. That's okay. It's not my place to tell you that you are lying to yourself. It is my place to ask you questions. And so if you are willing and you are honest with yourself, you can answer them and then you can have those realizations. It is not my place to say, Divine Goddess bitch lies, lies. poppycocks, boulder dash bullshit. And so the fact that you were willing to revisit that and to say, do I say that, again, the way that we manipulate ourselves? Because very often we say, I want this thing, and this is actually my safe want. This isn't the top of my wants. This is my safe want, right? Because I do not want to ask myself or the universe or anybody in my life for something that I do not believe anyone is willing to give me. Because we talked about this thing about decision. Decision involves belief. So in order for you to make the decision that love is a priority to you, you have to also believe that it is a possibility, because we cannot decide or choose something that we don't think is a possibility. So of course, in the beginning of this conversation that we had 2-3 months ago, you said, I only want what I believe is possible for me. And now through deeper digging and through getting to know and to see and to learn and to accept and to love yourself, you are now asking a deeper question, which is, can I actually have more? So whereas you're having this thought process with yourself of saying, well, you know what, this has shown me that I don't love myself enough. The moment that you realize that you don't love yourself enough, you actually started to love yourself more. Because if you did not, you wouldn't even notice. If you did not love yourself, you would be happy with breadcrumbs, because there will be nothing inside of you that says, but you have the capacity for more. Have you ever felt hungry when you were already full? No. So when you say, all I want is a snack, and you spend your whole life trying to convince yourself that all you want is a snack, and you're wondering why you're perpetually hungry, why you're malnourished, because you refuse to admit that you actually have a bigger capacity than what you've been allowing in. The moment you realize you don't love yourself enough is the moment that you actually started loving yourself more. Congratulations. You're moving slower in the wrong direction, which is moving in the right direction. You're willing to ask yourself questions today that you were not willing to ask yourself 65 days ago. And even with the answers breaking you, let's be honest, look around. A lot of y'all ain't like the answers that came about and don't continue on this journey. You are someone who has a hard time speaking up. And even though you put a little lightness, a little cute on it, you came and said, hey, you actually asked me for more than what I thought I was willing. And I'm glad that I recognized my capacity, but bitch, you was on the edge. And I love that for you. I love those boundaries. What? I put you on the edge, and you got to decide how deep you went, but you also came back and was like, by the way, this is you practicing that. And we talked about it. We talked about when you learn boundaries, the first person you learn to keep boundaries against is like random strangers. That bitch in Starbucks who cuts you off in line. That's the first person, right? Because they're safe, you're not tripping, there's no longevity. And then you move on to coworkers, and then friends, and then lovers. And then the big boss tends to be parents, children, and immediate family. And what we've been talking about with you is with your father, whom you are currently living with. You understand all of the ranks of practicing and boundary setting you are working through to get to the strength of that, and you pushing yourself and even coming and acknowledging that and holding that boundary, even with me, your coach, who, let's be honest, I got a smart ass, quick ass mouth. You really got to stand 10 tones down to come at me. And I love it. And this is not a reprimand. This is a praise. That's not who you were 65 days ago. You are working yourself up these ranks. You are growing. Everyone's going like this for you. The silent hand clap. So, what does that mean now that you recognize, not for nothing, the last 63 days you've been lying to yourself? What does that mean for all of the other content that you weren't looking at through the proper lens of what you actually want and need in life? How is that? Are we rethinking everything? Wow. Y'all, you're doing the real work. I just want to keep holding you accountable to the growth that you had. Because I hold y'all accountable to y'all bullshit all the time, but I'm also gonna hold you accountable to your growth. And yes, I would love to have you again now that you're ready to take that gook off your eyes and see things through your authentic and true light. I would love to have you for another 3 months. But we're not going to sit here and act like you have not grown exponentially. Sometimes we want to be ready, but sometimes we getting ready to get ready to get ready to get ready to grow. Getting ready, get ready, get ready to heal. If you just woke up and walked out the house, you'd be butt ass naked. Not a problem if you live on a nudist commonly. But if not, you gotta get some things ready the night before. You gotta pick out your outfit. You gotta wash your face. Yeah, you brushed your teeth last night. You gotta brush it again. So it's getting ready to get ready, and that's okay. And I'm so heavy on making you guys acknowledge your growth because that's what makes us want to quit. When we feel like we are giving our all and we're not seeing the kind of progress we want, that makes me want to quit. When I'm busting my ass and it feels like no matter how hard I work, it's making no difference, I notice that my enthusiasm for things fade. At the same token, I'm not here to gaslight you. I am not here to big you up. I am not a fucking yes man. So I'm not going to tell you that, oh my God, you're doing so great if you're not. Right? There are people in this program who we've tapped on the shoulders and said, hey, sweetie, we don't think that you've met the prerequisite of self-work and openness and accountability. And we're going to ask you to go ahead and tap out. So don't think that it hasn't happened even in your cohort. You are growing, and I have to hold you accountable to also love on yourself. Remember when we went through forgiveness, I have to, especially you who has that critical parent voice in you so heavily, I have to tell the critical parent in you, Divine Goddess, to shut the fuck up and let the lover speak. Because a lot of the ways that we judge ourselves are not even our own words. My friend had to really help me understand this because I was describing myself, certain aspects of my personality, and she was like, you know what? Who told you that about yourself? Who told you that you were whatever those words were? I literally put them out my brain. And she pointed out that I am a highly educated woman. I am a $5 word ass bitch. I love precision of language. I use big language, and not because I'm pretentious, I might be, elitist, I might be, but it's not to prove anything. I really just want the perfect word to help me expound upon what it is I'm trying to get across. But when I was describing myself in this particular way, I was using language that didn't sound like me. And so when you say things like, I'm lazy or I'm a loser, when you got way more words to describe procrastination, anxiety, frustration, lack of motivation, but you start using them words that you comprehended when you were 8, 9, 10 years old, you need to know that those are not your words, that is a script that somebody has implanted in you, and it has been playing like a broken record in your mind for 20, 30 plus years without you ever asking, hey, there's this song that says you're a loser running in the background quietly on me. And I never asked myself, who's the artist? And can we turn that shit off? So I love that question. And I just made it up right there. But that is a really good question to ask yourself because y'all know how much I love music. And y'all probably notice I really speak in song lyrics, right? So when I'm hearing a script in my mind that's saying negative things about me, meaning my mind is trying to manipulate me to keep me small, to keep me doing the things that make the people who told me I needed to behave a certain way to be palatable and acceptable. How about we start asking ourselves, who's the artist and can we turn that shit down? Remember back in the day, like when people would be singing a song and we'd be like, oh, damn, who sing that song? And they'd be like, Aaliyah. You'd be like, bet, let her sing it. Remember we used to do people like that? Right? Me right now. Because I love myself. And any and I sing love songs, R&B, maybe a little bit of toxic rap, but I hate you so much right now. That's not my anthem, baby. That's not my anthem. So when I'm hearing that anthem, I'm like, who sing that? Who sang that song? I ain't write that song. Let me go find the motherfucking producer credits. At best, let me hop up on the remix, cause baby, I don't like that. Who sing that song? Can we turn that shit down? Write that in your notebook. Who sings that song and can we turn that shit down? We're talking about manipulation. And not just about the ways that other people manipulate us, but the ways that we manipulate ourselves to believe that they're right. The way that we don't show up responsible for who we are. And so we pass other people our power and we collude in our own pain, in our own suffering. Manipulation. We got room for one more. What's coming up for you? What? Y'all gonna let me clock out on time tonight? Ah! Not me. Not me. Not me. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like that's not my experience of you. Ooh. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I love what you said. It's like, I notice a lot of times people don't like getting excited about things, right? And it's like, it, yeah, I think it's, not only why can't I expect to get what I deserve, but this idea of if I get super excited, I'm gonna feel extremely let down if this doesn't work out. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize my excitement and basically go into pre mourning, pre grief, pre suffering, because I believe in my mind that if I saw it coming or if I anticipated this thing not working out, it's gonna hurt me any less than if I was super excited. And so that's why I'm like, no, I don't give a fuck. If, I get a message that says, hey, we're considering you for a deal, I am going to be super excited. I'm not about to be like, I'll believe it when I get off the stage. Like, no, I'm going to believe it when I get off the stage, but I am going to celebrate the fact that I was considered. I am going to celebrate the fact that I was in that room. I'm going to celebrate the fact that I was bold enough to reach out and request those sort of things or request that pay or whatever it is, because not thinking it's going to work out not only almost guarantees that isn't going to work out, but you are actually like scientifically proven to not be any more sad if it doesn't work out, no, whether you were happy or not. So if your happiness is at a level 10 and something doesn't work out, your sadness is going to be at a 10, right? And so, but if you make it so that your happiness is only a level 6, your sadness about it not working out, still gonna be at a level 8. So why not go for it and experience that joy level 10 and the anticipation and the joy of the thing, instead of allowing yourself to be so afraid and so frustrated? And on top of that, it's all about energy, because getting the money, getting the car in the driveway, getting the lover in your bed, getting the body that you want, you're actually not going to be happy when you get it if you did not find joy along the journey. And I think that in your relationship in particular, I'm hearing notes of that. It's I want a lover who sees me and sees what is me and sees what the world has put on me. But this whole time I wasn't really sure that they existed. So now that they're here, I gotta test it. Now only now in this relationship, right, am I willing to say what is me and what isn't me, and praise God that you found somebody who's compatible and patient. But truth be told, we could have done that work before the relationship happened. We could have known who we are. We could have found that joy. And so, how do we say, no, 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 no? I am going to behave as though I'm already a rich bitch. I am going to behave as that I'm already deeply, wholly, and incomparably loved. I am already going to behave like I got the body I want. People be like, oh, when I lose this gut, I'm going to be everywhere. When I get a big butt, I'm going to be everywhere. I'm like, girl, what you talk about? Shake that shit right now. Shake that shit right now. Cause you ain't even gonna know how to shake it if you ain't never practiced. Give it to me. So how do we start to embody the energy of who we want? How do we start acting like the person who gets the things that we desire? And that speaks to what we were talking about on Tuesday when I said you want to come home to peace, and you say I dread coming home. Well, you got to find a reason to be happy on your way home, and make sure that it's not dependent on anybody else. Because if I got an attitude and I say, I just want to have a peaceful interaction with somebody, then how the fuck am I going to have a peaceful interaction when I come with the attitude? Because then it's like, well, you calm down and then I'll calm down. Mm-mm. Put it on yourself. I'll have joy and I will exemplify that joy. And I will only be found through the frequency of love and joy, and everything else I don't even fucking comprehend. When someone isn't talking to me the way that I like to be talked to, bitch, you might as well be speaking Portuguese. And I only know how to say two things in Portuguese, which is now falo Português, meaning I don't speak Portuguese, and regada. I know how to say churros too, but regada means thank you. So when you're not talking to me in the frequency of love, joy, admiration, respect, adornment, then baby, I don't even hear what the fuck you're saying. And what do you do when you don't understand somebody's language? Do you get mad? You go, I don't know what you're saying. I'm so sorry. Or is that my overly pleasant California ass? If you speak in a language I don't know, like when I was in Brazil, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. Yeah. And so if you're calling me a loser or if you're telling me I'm unlovable or I'm unworthy, I don't speak that language. I don't speak that language. So what am I going to do? I'm not going to sit there and be like, are they right? No. They don't even know me. You didn't meet the prerequisite of defining me. You are not the arbiter of who I am. And that's not the language I speak. So if you tell me anything about me, people online all the time. And I was telling the team today, hey, we got to make sure that we're watching the comments a little bit more because our page is growing and there's monitoring spirits on this page. And I don't give a fuck about engagement. One false move, you say the littlest shit to me, you're out of here, buddy. Because you don't speak my language. You don't speak my language. And it's not an attitude. I was like, hey, Mel, there's at least 150 people that we need to block today. Will you help me? And as I was doing it, I was like, well, I might get done before you because this is actually quite therapeutic. I enjoy trimming the dead leaves off of my fruit tree. And I don't leave yellowing leaves on just so that it makes the tree look more full. Baby, you got to go. Because you actually sucking up the water for the other people. And what about people who are formidable? Because we like to pretend like you're not so full, like we're not so influenceable beyond our teen years. No. Somebody gets to the page, and we've all done it. You get to a page and you see some content and you're like, I don't really know what to make of this. What is the first thing you do? Start reading the comments. You're like, what everybody else think? I know I saw like a clip with the Jada Pickett stuff, and I was like, huh. So she's not a villain? What the people say? Even I do it to this day. And so I'm not, if you ain't speaking life, you ain't speaking the language, and you got to get the fuck from around here. But I also used to be really upset. I used to comment back and go back and forth. And I used to be like, somebody say something to me and I'm going to stump that motherfucker out like a dead roach and leave it in the middle of the living room so everybody see this bitch will cuss you out. And actually what I ended up doing was inviting more people who wanted my attention. And the only way that they could find me was through being critical and disrespectful. And why was I even responding? Because I wasn't all the way strong and unfuckwittably who I am. Let's keep it real. Because I needed to prove it. How dare you say that? You didn't see my other 10 pieces of content where I was being smart as fuck, but all you saw was me shaking my ass and you call me a dumb bitch. Ah, I might be a dumb bitch. Really, that's. So now you go, oh, wow, that's your perception? Well, who am I? Who am I to tell you what to think? Think whatever the fuck you want to think. You just can't say that shit to me. Blocked. And so that's where I live in my life. And so again, that's just online, but that's how I am in person. You call me and you say some shit about me that I know is not true about me. I'll say you are entitled to your opinions, but I'm gonna need you to keep that shit to yourself. Because a lot of times other people's opinion and you ain't even really your business. Ain't even your business. But listen. I got taught. Like, what age should we like be teaching our children that other people's perception of you is none of your business? At birth. At birth. At birth. At birth. I'm glad you caught that. Um, no. Yeah. 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 I mean, it's gonna happen differently, right? And a lot of these things are inset, and it's gonna be, yeah, a lot of it is programming. So I'll tell you this: my daughter, who's 14 now, she does not like to be hugged. She doesn't. Interesting thing is, she never has. Even when she was an infant, if I would hug her and kiss her like on her neck, she would cry. And so here are like how those lessons kind of work. We were heavy in the church, and one thing about grown people is they don't like rejection. Grown-ups do not like rejection. And so I remember my daughter being about 3 years old and someone saying, "Give me a hug." And she backed up. And they got triggered from their own rejection wound and went to force a hug on my child. And in that moment, I said, "Hey, she doesn't like that." And not only did I say, "Hey, she doesn't like that," I kind of like held them there and was like, "Tell them no." And I told my daughter at 3 years old, like, I just told them no, so they gonna fucking respect it, but tell them no. And she, no. And to this day, right? And it's not just teaching your children how to have boundaries with other people. It's, here's a big one: respecting your children's boundaries. So even to this day, I'm much more cuddly. And right, I'm like, we're both Aquariuses, but y'all, my Venus is in Pisces and hers is in Capricorn. So she genuinely do not like them hugs. Genuinely does not like those hugs. And I put my head on her shoulder, and now she has more language. Because at 3, the language was just no. Now she'll say, "Mom, consent." But her will tell me, "Mom, consent." And I have to not get triggered, and I have to not make this about me. And I go, "You right, big dog." And then I call my Libra son, and he loves me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But then they take that out into the world. I got a phone call from her school today. She's in the ninth grade. And it's the assistant principal saying, like, "Hey, your daughter reported bullying." And I was like, "Oh shit." Like, I haven't even talked to her yet. But she's like, he said she came in and she wrote a letter. Now, if y'all been here around for a long time, you know my daughter loves writing letters. She loves writing a fucking letter. But she wrote a letter to her assistant principal saying, "Hey, these are the things that have been said to me. These are the ways that I've been violated. They've been getting on my Instagram live. I blocked them. They get other accounts. They called me whitewashed, that I was built like a lesbian." And I was on a team meeting when I got the call, and I was like, whew. First of all, if those are the worst things that they are saying to a 14-year-old, you're like, all right, all right. But she's 14, and not only is she advocating for herself with the people who are trying to push her boundaries, but she's also aligning herself with the proper power to get herself respected. And so I'm not sitting here like, "Oh, my daughter the greatest, my daughter's amazing," because my team also knows that I also hold boundaries with my daughter. We also have to have boundary conversations about what you are and what you aren't going to do, and who I am as a mother, and honor and respect and all of those sort of things. But the respect goes both ways. And so we were not taught that we were a sovereign entity when we were children. So we were told, "You a kid, stay in a kid's place. You a kid, stay in a kid's place. You a kid, stay in a kid's place. You're a fucking child. You should be seen, not heard. Stay in a kid's place." And then one day you woke up and they were like, "You're a fucking young adult. Figure it out." And you were like, "I'm grown? Y'all been telling me I'm a kid, stay in my place, ain't even been doing that good of a job taking care of me, and now I'm supposed to have figured all of this shit out. But I never got an opportunity to practice boundaries. I never got an opportunity to practice using my voice. I never got an opportunity to have a say in my life. And now I'm an adult, and all of these responsibilities, bitch, and bills is beating my ass. And everybody's telling me I should have figured it out. And that's why I never, ever, ever treat my kids like they're children. I teach them like they are little people who need protection and honesty and example-like behavior. And I am not sitting here saying I want motherfucking Mother of the Year award, right? Because they are still young. We don't know what they're gonna grow up and become. And I got a whole study in my back pocket for if my kids grow up and ain't shit. I got a study that's gonna help me sleep at night. But recognizing that one of the best ways, and hear me out, this is really important. One of the best ways, right, for us in here who are mothers who did not have that opportunity. And we're like, how do I nurture my daughter now? How do I nurture my son now? How do you do that? How do you nurture your daughter, your son now? Nurture that broken ass inner child. If you can reconnect with the inner child in you, you will then know how. Don't y'all recognize, like when we were kids, you would feel like adults was never in your shoes before. The way they were just so intolerant and impatient and frustrating and just didn't get it. You'd be like, I would think that you was never a fucking kid before. This shit is hard. But our parents are so caught up in their own hardship and their own bullshit and their own lack of healing that they don't have time for you to have a problem, because if you got a problem and they're responsible for you, now they got a problem. So we just skate over it and tell our kids to be okay because we got real shit to worry about. That's gonna backfire. But if we take this time like we're doing now to reconcile and to find some healing with little Brittany, right? Then you will have all of the tools you need to properly raise your kid. I didn't mean to turn this into a parenting session, but I think it could be said. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Talk about know your worth and stuff, y'all. My son just lost one of his molars. And I was like, all right, babe, what's the plan? Boom. He was like, I haven't seen the tooth fairy, but I was thinking if you could pass her a contract. My son asked me to find the tooth fairy and pass her a contract and negotiate higher pay for his tooth. Because last time he only got $1, but what he heard is other kids be getting upwards 50s and 20s, and he's not asking for back pay, but he just wants to be assured that if he puts his tooth under the pillow, she's not just gonna give him what she want to give him. And I was like, and then was like, and can you let her know I prefer Cash App to my iPad? Okay, son. May all your desires come true. I can't be mad at that. So, and he just made 11. These are things that they learned at 6. If y'all was in the last cohort, y'all would have heard about all the times my daughter wrote letters cussing me out. Talk about I make her cook, so I ain't raising her. I laughed and said, well, girl, if I can get you to cook at 9, that means that I could do in 9 years what most parents can do in 18. Fuck out of here. Pat on my back. Good job. I'm not taking that personal. Now, what you making for dinner tonight? Lasagna or spaghetti? The fuck? And at her daddy's house, he pays her $10 a night to make dinner. Over here, I'm like, I bought the food. So there's that negotiation, because he don't know his worth as a father. And I ain't even talking shit about my ex-husband. I'm just saying, ain't no fucking way that I would pay a kid $10 to feed themselves. I just wouldn't do it. But am I gonna call him and tell him about his worth? Hell no, that's for him to figure out. She ain't getting paid shit when she cook over here because I bought the food. We can renegotiate what you want. You want more creative control over the menu, my guy? Because I'm not paying. So, boundaries. And then they learn to operate differently in different things. Because we all just getting away with what we can get away with. We all just getting away with what we can get away with. I ain't manipulating shit. I'm telling you right now, because the difference is I don't give a fuck about food. When my kids are not home, girl, I pay somebody $160 a week. She brings me 12 meals. Her food is delicious. You come over my house, ain't no fucking snacks. I got water. I got all them Herbalife products that I think are fucking delicious. And I got my meal prep. If you want something else, go get something else. So my kids come and I'm like, hey, we're going to Trader Joe's. You can have anything and everything you want. And you're going to cook it. Because I got my food. I'm vegan. My daughter used to be vegetarian. They want to eat pork chops and shit. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm going to pay you to make my house smell like pigs and shit. Girl. They fed, ain't they? All right. But no, it's her daddy getting manipulated. They over there getting about that paper. But how did they learn to negotiate? They hear me demanding money all goddamn day long. So then they go back to their dad's house and they start demanding. And everybody's got to learn how to navigate in the world, one place or another. Everybody. A master class on what? Look, it's been a pleasure having you here, and I want to be able to continue to have a roof over all of our heads. I've done the math, and what I need is a minimum of $700 a month, $5,000 a month, whatever it is. If that works for you, we will move forward on the 1st. If that doesn't, I really need you out by the 15th. So while we're in negotiations, I'm actually going to need that key back until we come into an agreement. Or I need you to understand on the 15th, if we do not have a new agreement, the locks will be changed. And if you do not agree to that, that's no problem. I need you to sign this as well. I know. And I know that sounds like a big, like I wouldn't, but Princess helps me negotiate. Not negotiate, but because I do negotiation. Princess makes sure everybody signs everything. And when I tell you, my mama, my brothers, my ex-husband, my ex-boyfriend who want help do something, everybody goes through the same negotiation process. And we think of it as I'm trying to get over or whatever. I think of it as I am a woman of my word. And so I'm willing to put my word on paper, and anyone who's not willing to put their word on paper, then do we really want the same things? I value clarity, even if that clarity cost me the relationship. I remember there was a friend that I had, and I really liked that friend. And I had got the camera that I'm using right now. I don't know if y'all can tell, this is like a $3,000 camera. Girl. And I remember the friend was like, oh, that's so dope. I've been wanting to play with that camera. And I was like, oh, for sure, absolutely. Just so you know, if you break it, you bought it. And they were like, why would I break your camera? And I was like, well, I don't think you would break it, but accidents happen. And I just want to be very clear that if it does get broken, I will expect you to buy a new one. No, actually what I said like exactly was, if you break it, congratulations, you just bought a broken camera. And they got really mad because I was like, no, I wouldn't even let you borrow this camera without, like, and it doesn't have to be a contract. To me, a text message is enough. So I just said it over text message. Like, yeah, absolutely, you can borrow my camera. And if you break it, congratulations, you just bought a broken camera. Like, I wouldn't break it. I don't think you would do it intentionally, but shit happens. And I want you to know up front. I don't want it to be any surprises. that friendship ended. And you may feel like, oh damn, I was pushy, so I lost my friend. But the truth is, if that's what's gonna end the friendship, I would I would rather end it now while I still got my camera than after you accidentally broke it or something happened and now you don't want to be responsible because either A, I didn't tell you that this is the cost, or these are the fine prints of borrowing this thing from me. So a lot of times we want to preserve the relationship, so we have a hard time expressing the boundaries. But the truth is, if our boundaries, which are our true, honest, you are willing to walk away for, if those really are your boundaries, then if they're not willing to adhere to them in verbal agreement, bitch, you stupid if you think that they are going to adhere to them in actions. So you say those boundaries and you let them happen now, and you let them do whatever they're going to do now. And then that. I just had another thought, K Money. What if, pray tell they are not watching any of this. I need to make some money from that room. I understand that you may not have it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on Airbnb. So for you to stay in it, you are welcome to book it through Airbnb. But if not, it's going to be open to other people. It's going to be open to other people. And then when it's open to one, you can't keep your shit in here. And when somebody's in this room, what the fuck if you book it or whoever else, then the room's not available. But if you want it, you can book it. And you can book it through Airbnb. The Airbnb prices, I don't got to negotiate with it. I ain't got to ask for nothing, baby. Here's the link. That is in the realm of passive aggressive. But hey, moving slower in the wrong direction is moving in the right direction. Ain't got nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. Wouldn't be the first time. I wouldn't be, not for them, that particular person, but I'm like, wouldn't be the first time a bitch did something change for a piece of change. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The thing is, right? Um, and we say this all the time. It is a dangerous sport to care about people who do not care about themselves. And if someone is willing to get themselves, their pride and their ego in the way to the point of, and I'm not saying this is true for everybody. Sometimes people just down on their luck and shit is hard. This is not true for everybody. But if you have gotten yourself to a place where you can't care for yourself as an adult, and you are facing homelessness or you're facing eviction or you're having all of these sort of things, K Money, explain to me what makes you believe that they wouldn't put you in that scenario with them. Because I can only take people as far as I've taken myself. So if I've taken myself to incurable debt, to homelessness, right? And this is not true in every scenario. Things happen for people that they end up in those sort of situations. But you're like, yeah, baby, but so you homeless and you telling me you can't go get a job at Trader Joe's because of your pride. So now we both gonna be homeless and I'm gonna have to go get a job at Trader Joe's because I don't have that much pride. Mm. Oh. I be telling you bitches, y'all don't listen to me though. You know who works for this company who actually has even more clarity and can see Mel. Let me tell you who you want to avoid if you want to lie to yourself, Mel. Y'all think I'm on 8? It's to the point where the whole company be like, Mel, what do you think? Because when I tell you, like, psychic, see it right there, see it clear. And I told you that 2 years ago. Last August. Yeah, no, a year and a half. Yeah, I remember now. Oh, girl, good luck. Or Godspeed. You always coming in here grabbing the thunder. They don't know charity friendship yet. That's next week. But yeah, you done found yourself a charity friend and now you digging into your necessities to give to the needy. That's crazy. That's crazy. I trust that you'll get yourself out of it, but no sooner than you need to fully learn the lesson to not put yourself in the scenario again. Yes. Yes. This your third time down the street though, so it's time to pick a new street vet. Is that why you were nodding your head when she was saying that? Like, actually, I might need to come back. I might need to listen. It's an honor. It's an honor. And you ain't coming back for free, but it's an honor. Boundaries. You are no, oh God, you are always welcome. Girl, it ain't the same without you. It is not the same without you. Um, so that is, you're right that we are beyond on time. Today was beautiful. I want you guys to continue to spend the time between now and Tuesday just witnessing the manipulation in the world and asking yourself, how much space can I put between the fact that motherfuckers is playing in my face and how I actually react to it? That's that mindfulness practice. And when we come back on Tuesday, we will be getting through, as K Money pointed out, friendships, the different types of friendships on the good side, the ones that are not as good and healthy for you. You might want to bring your ass back for that because I think we might need to take it from the top. Okay, we might need to take it from the top. But yeah, so that is our final topic of Argue with the Shift cohort. And then after that, you're getting ready for graduation. Y'all are blazing. Y'all are growing. Y'all are learning. Y'all are trans fucking forming. Thank y'all for being here. Natalie, can I get that song on our way out? Oh, she was already queued up. Yeah. When you dance, make sure it's because you want to dance. Hey, good night. Hey, hey. Pop, 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 pop. Hey. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Oh, she was supposed to stay? I don't know if I put her out. Get her back. Get her back. Get her back. Oh, girl, you could have snatched her about 20 minutes ago. Okay. All right, y'all. That's it. That's it. Bye. Oh, girl, I was saying bye to Instagram. It's okay. Was it good? It's not even letting me make you host. You must already be. Oh, okay.